And in our last video, we're going to solve two-step inequalities. You're going to use a lot of the skills that you used in two-step equations. So we might need to use the distributive property, combining like terms, or gathering all variables on the same side of the inequality sign. Again, the main difference to remember is that if we multiply or divide by a negative, we switch the direction of that inequality sign. Let's solve 3 times x plus 2 is less than 9. We have to use the distributive property to get rid of that parentheses. So I'm going to multiply through by 3. So 3x plus 6 is less than 9. In two-step equations, we undo the adding and subtracting first. We'll subtract 6 from both sides. So 3x is less than 3. To get x by itself, we divide both sides by 3. So x is less than 1. Number 2, 5x minus 8 minus 7x is greater than or equal to 12. I notice that on the left-hand side, I have two terms that both include x. So let's start by combining our like terms. So 5x minus 7x going to give us negative 2x minus 8 is greater than or equal to 12. Our next step would be to add 8 to both sides. So negative 2x is greater than or equal to 20. Divide both sides by negative 2. X, 20 divided by negative 2 is negative 10. Since I divided by a negative, I need to flip the direction of that inequality. So my answer is x is less than or equal to negative 10. Now remember, you can always check your solutions. What if we're not positive if we did this one right? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to check by picking any number that's less than or equal to negative 10, and I'm going to put that back in, and we're going to see if we get a true statement. Try to pick easy numbers to work with. So I'm actually going to go and pick x is negative 20. So I'm going to check with just one possible value. X is negative 20. So 5 times negative 20 minus 8 minus 7x. I'm going to write that as plus negative 7 times negative 20. That's going to be greater than or equal to 12. Well, let's check. 5 times negative 20 is negative 100. Minus 8 plus negative 7 times negative 120. Sorry, negative 7 times negative 20 is positive 140. We're going to see if that's greater than or equal to 12. Use your calculator. Negative 100 minus 8 plus 140. That is 32. Yeah, and 32 is greater than or equal to 12. So our answer was correct. One last example. 4x plus 6 is less than 10x minus 18. Notice we have x terms on both sides. We need to combine them. Now it's up to you which direction you want to move them to. Some people always like to get their x terms on the left side. Some people realize if we move our values towards the bigger x, we're not going to have negatives. Either one, as long as you do the steps correctly, you're going to get the correct answer. I'm going to say I'm going to minus 4x from both sides, just because I know negatives can be tricky to work with. So 6 is less than 10x minus 4x is 6x minus 18. Now I add 18 to both sides. 6 plus 18 is 24. 24 is less than 6x. Divide both sides by 6. So 4 is less than x. You now have all the skills you should need to solve your inequality problems.